Colson, you ready to talk about the epic collapse in the Milwaukee game?
Of my evening?
Oh, that
one. Yeah. I like that we had to specify. What?
Yeah, I'm in a super good mood. This will be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just prepare to...
It'll be great.
It'll be perfect.
Y'all motherfuckers don't watch us play throughout the year, to tell you the truth. I'm gonna be real with you, and I don't care if I get fined.
That must be Jervis. Put some shoes on.
That train is off the tracks.
Who doesn't love the bouncy castle?
Hitler.
Just prepare to... yeah, so just prepare to be awash in undebeatable goodness.
Welcome, Pacers fans. You are listening to the Undebeatables, your semi-weekly Pacers podcast. Today is December 19th, 2021, and this is episode 557. Coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm your host, Joey Gaffrida, the man behind the dials and former season ticket holder. This show, we're going to discuss a 1-2 week of Pacers basketball. Joining me this show are all three of our analysts, coast to coast, like buttered toast. First, from the high school home of Jameson Brewer, Silver Spring, Maryland, it's the doctor, Jason Triplett.
What is up, Pacers fans? What is up, Undebeatables? Glad to have the whole crew together. Didn't think it was going to happen. So
Hashtag full squad.
Hashtag full squad. Shout out to Jody, I guess? Question mark? I don't know.
Shout out.
I think, and importantly, joining us from Asheville, North Carolina, he's our in-house bartender mixing up the drinks in the crappy jingles, John Colson.
What is up, Pacer Nation? What is up, Undebeatables? I'm not glad to be here with you this evening. I probably should be somewhere else, but whatever. Shout out to my roommates Amanda and Angela. We had our Christmas party last night. More charcuterie than any 12 people could eat, and more bolognese spaghetti than any 35 people could eat. So, if Pacer Nation needs some food, just come on by. We've got
How many
some.
people were there?
5. Okay. We had a great time, though. It was a super blast. So
Okay.
shout out.
Super blast. That's nice. And probably going to have a super blast today from Boise, Idaho. Out west, it's our enforcer, John Harper.
What is going on, fellas? I guess it's time to shout out Christmas because that's happening before the next show.
Yeah.
Oh my.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Happy 2021, guys.
Shout out.
Yeah. Yep.
Wait, isn't it still 2020? Wait, where am I? What's going on?
What's my name?
Before we get into the basketball, would like to remind you this show is brought to you by you. If you head over to patreon.com/undebeatables, you can support our show for as little as $1 per month, and some levels of support will get access to our Slack where you can watch me, pretty much exclusively get the predictions wrong about the games.
No, it's been good. It's been good. Just keep predicting losses and we'll win.
Right. And I learned my lesson earlier in the week, and I'm just predicting losses from here on out because apparently what I say reverse matters, you know.
Mm-hmm. Got to reverse the
Anyway.
reverse curse.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And again, that's patreon.com/undebeatables.
Reverse the reverse curse.
All right, 3 games this week. The first one, Pacers take on the Golden State Warriors at home. They lose this one 100-102. They were looking good, pretty late into the game, and let that one get away. Sabonis had a good game, though. 30 points, 11 rebounds, and Malcolm Brogdon, 23 points, and Miles Turner getting 10 boards and just 6 points. 4 blocks, though, in that game. Curry looked fantastic. He's just really back into form. 26 points and very nearly at least tied the record for most threes for a career.
Yeah, one away.
Yep, just one away, but we did just enough to lose the game, but have him break the record later. Next game was Wednesday, December 15th. Pacers took on what was left of the Milwaukee Bucks. And, man, that would be... I mean, Colson, you don't have epic collapse when you see one. Like, this was an epic collapse of an evening.
Well, we were playing the defending champs, so you don't expect to win unless they only can dress 7 guys. Their best player is Drew Holiday, which he's a very good player, and then nobody else, but we just let Drew Holiday do whatever, so it's not good. Yeah, not good.
Sabonis got a double-double, which is nice. 16 and 14. Beyond that, nobody really had a standout evening except Miles Turner had 5 blocks in a loss. And the last game of the week, which I predicted a loss. You're welcome, Pacers. Thursday, December 16th, Pacers did win this one. This was 122 to 113. They were largely in control over the evening, and sort of just extended their lead over towards the end of the game, and did not fall apart. Karis LeVert was the standout this one. He 31 points, and really just took over. I think he had like 14 and a quarter. He was looking solid. Justin Holiday back in action, dropping 17. And from the Detroit side, Sadiq Bey was on fire. He had 28 points. But besides that, man, Detroit's not good. Colson, if you could summarize into a small form factor, your feelings about this week, what would you think?
Well, we sort of established last week that there might be a new segment called the Haiku Life Champagne of Poems. And I think I'm now going to start writing haikus during the week about how I feel about the games. And so this is my haiku for this week. The basketball gods reward effort, cohesion. We possess neither. It's not super uplifting. Written after written after
which demoralizing loss? Please share.
Yeah, it was written after the first demoralizing loss against the Warriors, in which we were. I thought we played a pretty solid game. I thought we were competitive against a really good team, but down the stretch, some stuff went wrong. There was a Kevin Looney flip. He got the offensive rebound and just chucked it over his head, and somehow it went in. We've got Karis LeVert trying to take 5 dudes off the dribble, and he lost the ball at the end of the game. These things were just reminding me.
Fell down.
He just straight up fell down.
He had 2 guys on the perimeter, and he went around them, and there was 2 more guys there for him, and then he fell over, and you're like, wait, how did he fall over? That's weird. He's got 4 guys guarding him. I just, for me, it was one of these things where you play hard all game against a far superior team. I mean, this team has lost 5 games all season, and then you can't finish the game because we've talked about this, our fourth quarter issues, but also because, I think, and we'll talk about it. I think this show, or at least the next show, there's some there's some real issues with our cohesion right now as a team, and some real issues with our effort, and that's how you lose to a super short-handed Bucks team, and that's how you're happy about a victory over Detroit that's only won 4 games. So, shout out Pacers.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that the Golden State win was perhaps the most moral of all of our moral victories.
Of the season? Because we had no other moral victories this week. This is the moral victory of the season.
Yeah, we had a moral 3/4 against the Bucks.
3.5.
Three and a quarter.
Three and a
Yeah,
quarter.
3 and a
Until we
third.
let Drew Holiday actually play basketball.
I mean, the sad thing about the Golden State game is I could see it coming the entire time. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is great, and
We're playing
Golden
well.
State could see it coming too. That was like the whole thing. They weren't in panic mode. They were like, these guys will not get offensive rebound or not get defensive rebounds down the stretch. We'll grab a few extra possessions. Steph will hit a couple threes. Boom. That's how we'll do this.
That's the old
The
recipe.
thing that
Teams
I
win.
didn't see coming was a team, regardless of level of cohesion, giving up a 21-0 run in a fourth quarter. I mean, we've given up a 24-0 run earlier this year. That was like, in a third quarter. That's small potatoes. In a fourth quarter, how is it even possible? Like, I don't.
I
just
mean,
don't
I got some film for you.
Can you break it down for me? Like, what happened? Like,
We stopped. I mean, the frustrating thing for me is, you watch that Golden State game and you're like, I don't know why everyone can't do what they do offensively. Like, the way that they set screens and move the ball and create open looks for themselves is just so masterful. And you're like, okay, well, we played them the night before, so we'll definitely find some way to get some good looks come crunch time. No, we'd forgotten everything that we'd learned the night before and just went ahead and stopped playing offense, defense, or special teams for about 7 minutes.
Or special teams. Well, you know what I liked about I felt like we've talked about this the week before, like not using our big men, and I felt like we really did try to pound them down low, the Golden State team, because they're undersized. Try to take advantage of that because they play small ball. You'd think we'd be trying to do that the next night. We tried to do it for a while, but like
We just couldn't handle
you
Bobby Portis.
that's just what I'm saying. You get to
I mean, nobody can. Right?
at some point.
This guy was on
You gotta be able to-
all the 75 best 75 all time, right?
At some point, you got to be able to hit a basket against Bobby Portis. At some point.
I mean, yeah. Like, this is... I mean, we saw this... this team. I don't even know where to go. Like... like, okay, we have 4 days out. We don't play until Wednesday. When we play Miami or something. Tuesday when we play Miami. Is there a trade happening between now and then? Like, can we get something to get this fan base excited over Christmas? Like...
I mean, we're going to have to do something to stir the old pot here because what we're trying out there night in and night out just ain't working for us. Congratulations to Domantas Sabonis on his Eastern Conference Player of the Week award.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that was cool.
There was good news.
That was cool.
Him and LeBron James. You gotta split the week,
Yeah. I mean, you know.
And I mean, like, the Detroit win was nice, but it was in no way a convincing win against a paltry Detroit team. Like, I mean, Detroit had a chance. I thought deep into the fourth quarter that Detroit was going to come back and win this game.
They never.
We could not do
extended that
anything
lead.
to stop Cade Cunningham.
Ugh.
Where it started to have a hard time manufacturing looks, as always, because Detroit stepped up their pressure. I mean, we scored 19 points in the fourth quarter. Like, we tried to give that game away. And we just... Detroit wasn't good enough to take
To
it
like
from
the
us.
worst team in the league.
Yeah.
And...
Well, but they're confident. They know they can beat us. They've done it before, right? And you know,
Right.
luckily, they're just defensively, they're just a sieve too. I mean, they're just a bunch of really young guys who just have a way to, got a ways to go defensively. Had it not been for that, yeah, we would have choked all over this. So,
But we didn't lose, so that's good.
They're just. I mean, in fairness, they did live up to expectations. We predicted a 1-2 week, right? JT.
We did, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, anybody can pick a win against Detroit.
No, I'm special and smart and a genius.
Yeah, exactly. And last time we picked a win against Detroit, we lost. So.
Good call. Good call.
So, okay, so we've been doing this for a long time. We've been fans for a long time. We went through a lot of stretches, especially when we reinvented the team around Paul George, so sort of after the Eastern Conference Finals teams. Near the end of Vogel's career and the beginning of Nate McMillan's career, where this team was always trying to turn a corner, and it was not a fun team to root for. It didn't seem like guys really got along. Paul George was always bitching at the refs.
And his teammates.
And throwing them under the bus. And it was kind of a tough couple years there to figure out who we were and who to root for. What's weird for me about this team is that I'm confident in the coach. This is an old coach that I used to love and root for. I think he's a guy that did a great job in Dallas, who won a championship there. That team seemed to always overachieve. I like this collection of players. We know clearly something's wrong and something's got to change, and there's going to be some real turnover here. But it's a weird season to root for, and I understand why the place isn't filling up because I don't know what's going on. It doesn't seem like locker room turmoil, but it came out this week that Domantas Sabonis had 2 rumors that he definitely wanted to leave Indianapolis, and then corrected it and said he definitely wanted to stay. There's a lot of stuff going on in our locker room.
Last week the GM chucked him under the bus. I'd probably be thinking about trade time too.
Yeah, for sure. It's just a weird. How do you guys feel about this team? You just have zero feelings about them because they're just not emotionally affecting you, or what? Where are we at? Are we just dead inside now?
It would be nice to know, what happens behind the scenes, but just like in the years with Paul George, we didn't really. And on some level, we'll never know, right? We still have questions about the Paul George era and who did what to whom. We've
And where?
And where? Where? Yep, exactly.
Yeah, no, you bring up a good point, right? Because what is the drama that is leading to this lack of cohesion or the lack of leadership on this team? The thing that got me most despondent this week was watching Chris Duarte in the Detroit game. He had an okay game, but he just looked angry the whole time. And I know he's a senior citizen as a rookie, but rookies are supposed to just be this is amazing. I'm in the NBA. I'm
super excited to be here.
This, yeah, exactly. And he already doesn't have that. He's just whatever.
We've already crushed his joie de basketball.
Yeah, exactly. This is just not good.
He got tossed earlier in the year because you had that outburst at the refs, but
yeah.
But that's not. Rookies shouldn't be there,
Yeah, no, I mean that's the thing. Nobody's really talking about it, and whatever the gambit that Pritchard was trying to work last week doesn't seem to have lit any of the right fires or pushed the right buttons to get this team on the same page, which makes you think that we're a lot closer to blowing things up. Simon walked out back and said, we don't want to do that because that's not what Dunny Walsh did. Well, Pritchard ain't Walsh. So, I don't know. We're going to have to see how this thing plays out.
It sounds like some of their talks fell through.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we can talk about this more on Thursday, though. But that was really interesting to me because, I don't know. I guess if you're Herb Simon and you've done things a certain way your entire tenure as a Pacers owner, which is 40 years now, basically. Right. I understand that blowing it up is not an option, but and I'm interested to hear you guys' thoughts on whether or not you would like a mild reboot or a process-esque, just let's start this over. Because we've been on the treadmill for. What is it now? 7 years at least, right? When we were in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2014 or something like that, right? Or not even the finals, the semifinals against the Heat or something, right?
No, we went to the Eastern Conference Finals twice and semifinals once in that 3-year span.
Okay, right. But that was 7 years ago, right?
Okay.
So,
Yeah, 7 years ago. Yeah.
which is a long time in the NBA.
And we've been in the first round every year except last year, where we didn't make. We didn't.
I mean, we made the play-in, so you
We
can
made the
argue
play-in.
that we made the playoffs. but
I'm
we
not
didn't,
going to argue
really.
that. No.
Okay.
No. And we always get swept or knocked out or whatever.
Yeah, so we missed the playoffs twice and got swept the rest
Multiple
of the
times.
times. Like, basically.
We've not been competitive for.
Well, no, the one
In the
year
playoffs.
was the one year with.
Well, we had the most competitive sweep ever. And
we had
then
the most
also
competitive
took
sweep ever.
Cleveland to 7 games.
And we
that
took
one year.
the defending champion Cleveland Cavaliers to 7 games, and that was with our very lovable team, the team I think we were most recently behind most, with Victor Oladipo and Bo Jan and Corey Joseph and Darren Collison. That they took the defending champs to 7 games in the first round.
So we'd lead the league in moral victories over the past decade. Is what you're
Yeah,
telling me.
the closest sweep in history. Yeah, we've got a lot of those things.
That's our corner, you know. But I don't want to. I think this is a conversation we can save until.
Yeah, we can
Thursday.
table that for Thursday.
But it makes it hard to discuss anything in the short term as well. So what does this team do going forward? What is it like to be a player in this locker room where it's you just know the axe is going to fall at some point? Everybody's just walking on eggshells constantly.
Yeah, well, they said there was an article that came out this week that said the only untouchables are Duarte and Isaiah Stewart, are 2 rookies, and of course Malcolm Brogdon because he can't be traded. So basically, everybody's on the trading block right now. So nobody feels good about what's going on.
Do you think that Carlisle knew this was a possibility coming into the season? Or he was like, here's my thing. I have this idea for how I can make this team work. If it doesn't work, I am totally cool with a reboot. Or do you think Carlisle's sitting at home on COVID protocol, reading all these articles and being like, what the F did I sign myself up for?
Much more the latter. I mean, I don't think that any coach goes into a situation and says, yeah, there's a 50% chance that I'm just going to fail at my goal.
Okay, good point.
You know what I mean?
I think it depends on where you are in your career. Some people would just take any opportunity, but
Sure.
Carla doesn't. He has the luxury to.
And I don't suspect that that's what Kevin Pritchard was pitching him, right? Kevin Pritchard was pitching him, we need to get these guys to the next level, right? That's what I suspect that sale was. If Kevin Pritchard had sat down with him and be like, see what you can do. If we're not there by the trade deadline, we'll just drop an atom bomb on it. I don't know if he shows up for that gig.
Yeah, no, I think I really do believe that Pritchard was like, hey, look, we brought in this kid last year who was going to make us this super advanced offensive team, and this team forgot how to play defense, and so all you need to do is come in here and teach us some fundamental defensive stuff, and they're going to be successful. And Carlo was like, yeah, I could do that. We could be a playoff team in the East if we just learn how to play defense. I think that's what he came in for. I think he thought we were going to be competitive and fighting for home court advantage just because it's a good group of guys that didn't want to put effort in on defense. Well, that's not what happened.
So it seems to me that Pritchard has zero pulse of his own, of the locker room, right? Because even with the Bjorkgren situation last year, you would have had to been convinced that the chemistry amongst the players, at least, was strong enough to
take on a rookie coach,
to take on a new coach, and even take on a rookie coach. But I think that was more driven by a frustration with the stasis under Nate McMillan, right?
It was
that's fine.
overreaction.
But then, yeah, exactly. But if you're gonna fire the coach and keep your locker room intact, you must have thought that there was some spark there at least that you could build around. And what we've seen so far this year is like that's just not. These guys don't necessarily play for one another, right? And either he withheld that from Carlisle or Carlisle was cool with it. This week, at some point, I convinced myself that maybe Carlisle is like, he's never done this before, and maybe it's a fun challenge for him to like build a team from nothing. I don't really believe that. Like, there's no way that he wants to do that at this point in his life. But like, I was trying to talk myself into that.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd do that.
I mean, it's not clear to me that there's much evidence that Pritchard has ever had the pulse of a locker room, as long as he's been a part of the Pacers organization anyway. I mean, I'm open to counter arguments here, but it just doesn't seem like a strength of his based on what I've seen under his tenure.
We'll save this for Thursday, but I'm really interested on a soft reboot versus a hard reset.
Yeah. Sounds
I usually prefer hard over soft, but we'll see.
All right. In the meantime, Pacers play basketball this week. The schedule slows down a little bit, so maybe the guys just need some R&R. It has been a grueling stretch of basketball since the beginning of the season. For the first time, they get I think 4 consecutive days off or something. Pacers play Tuesday at Miami. That's always a good time. Give guys a bunch of days off and then send them to Miami. And then, when is that? Thursday, host the Houston Rockets.
Nice.
And then Sunday, yes, it's always good to get some Houston Rockets action. Then Sunday at Chicago. I don't know if that game has been postponed already or is still slated to be played. Do you guys know?
So Chicago's going through a bunch of COVID protocols, and a bunch of their games removed. I do not know.
I think it's still a go.
I think it's still scheduled to be on.
Which would be the day after Christmas?
Yeah.
That game? All right.
Mm-hmm. Boxing Day. Yep.
Boxing Day.
Check out our Undegoogleables.
That's right. We'll link to that.
And then probably around December 24th, we'll get news of a Karis LeVert for Harrison Barnes swap.
God, stop hurting my feelings. Also, I think it's going to take longer than you think.
I think
this is going to stretch on for a while. Yeah, for the Harrison
They just
Barnes
want to keep us in this state of agony for as long as possible.
I think it's going to be mid-January, late January before we get anything settled here.
Fun.
Great. Stretch it out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, sounds like I'd like to further this discussion about how we're going to be I guess on the way to do this, because it ain't working from what I've seen, and I'm accepting counter arguments. Harper, do you think that what we're doing is working just fine?
Oh yeah, we're nailing it. I mean, if you'd asked me last year if a 13-18 start was optimized, I'd say, man, that's punching way above our weight class.
I will say, not that I think that we're doing okay. I'm not saying that, but when you look at the standings, it's essentially like there's a big gap between the Pacers are at the very bottom of the teams that can be competitive. So we're close. We're like essentially tied for the the play-in area. Like we're close to the cut line. But the thing is, you got to win more games to move up. So
you're saying we're like the 1-5 Colts or something like that like turns the season around? Is that your theory?
Yeah.
Have they done that?
We're 2 games out of the play-in right now.
Right.
Yeah, the Colts have done that. Yeah, they're knocking on the door of playoffs now, buddy.
Which is why the play-in is a brilliant idea, because it gets fan bases like us to be like, "Oh, we're still in this, man."
Yeah.
What are we gonna do?
Saying there's a chance.
I mean, there's no doubt that it's a weird year. I mean, below the cut currently, the Hawks, the Knicks, and the Pacers. I mean, based upon last year's play, I don't think that that's something a lot of people predicted. It's weird.
Right.
And how are we looking up at the Cavs? Anyway, I got to end this show before I get all angry. We'll be back with you on Thursday. And until then, we'd like to thank you for listening. And you can find us on we're all over the social medias. We are on Twitter at Undebeatables. We're on Facebook.com/TheUndebeatables. Our website is TheUndebeatables.com. There's a contact form there that will send you a message, or you can send us a message there. And email, shout out at TheUndebeatables.com. And we got a merch at the website /store.
For the architect, Donnie Walsh, and our once and always Hall of Fame coach, Bobby Sick-Leonard, turn out the lights. The party's over.
Yeah, that sums it up.
Yep.
Yeah, no, that was my emotions from the week.
Yep.
Just trying to put it in song.
Hey, you managed to do so.
I put it in poem earlier. Now I'm putting it in song.
Yeah. Ugh. I just want some wins.
Yeah.
I don't want to be. I want to be below the Cavs. I want to be below.
I mean,
What else do you?
that ship
What do you
has
see?
sailed.
Yeah.
What about the Wizards?
Freaking Wizards! Get down to the lottery. What are they doing?
Bradley Beal's been
They're
bad.
trying now.
Yeah, I mean, we have
Stepping it up lately.
3 more wins than Houston right now.
Ooh, did you say that out loud?
Yeah.
Hoping we could keep that in the silence. We didn't manifest it if you don't say it out loud. Run, Don't Walk to Spider-Man 3.
Oh, I heard it was good.
I know they're not sponsoring us, but I had an incredible time at the theater watching that movie.
Was that because of the movie or was that...
Or my date? No, I went by myself. The place was packed, but I did have a seat next to me open. I think it was the only empty seat in the whole place, so I wasn't worried about the Omicron.
Because the
virus only travels
within like
left
a
to
foot
right.
of me. Yeah.
oh
I left my mask on except when I was drinking my 12-ounce glass of wine, and it was fine.
Okay.
Yeah,
A 12-ounce glass of wine?
yeah. You can get 6 or 12 at this place. And I was like, it's a 2.5-hour movie.
Sounds fancy.
It's a 2.5-hour movie. Like
And how long did the 12 ounces of wine last you?
it got me through about half the movie, so I feel like that's worth it. And it was
Did
only
you
like
have your-
$20 for half a bottle of wine.
Which is probably Yellowtail.
Right.
Yep.
Well, okay. So Jason, I'm actually a pro at this. So what you do is you go right before you go into the theater. You sit down. You find your seat. You put your coat down. You put your massive glass of wine. You watch all the previews, and then when they end the previews, there's about a minute of fluff where they're going to tell you to turn off your phone and stuff. You run. You go to the bathroom. You're back for the opening of the movie. And at the very end of the movie, you know that there's going to be post-credit scenes, but you have time to run to the bathroom and then come back for the post-credit scenes.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's
I have
really
a
easy
lot
to
of
steal your coat, isn't it?
It's super easy. And my wine. But yeah, I've got a system. I've done enough of these Marvel movies. They're getting longer and longer, and the older I get, my bladder's getting smaller and smaller, or my prostate's getting bigger and bigger. I don't know what's going on. Or the more wine I drink is
Something like
getting more and more. I don't know.
You should see a doctor.
I did. He says I'm in great health. I think he's
Okay.
just. I think.
Does
Maybe
he
I'm
have a
just paying him
degree
to say
in
that.
something?
That's Trump's doctor? What is
red
going on here?
flag.
I know. I was like, don't tell me this. This is not good for me. Tell me I'm in
Just
terrible
keep doing
health.
what you're doing. You know.
He's like, you're doing great, buddy. Yeah. That's what he said at the end.
Goodness.